Hey guys, how's it going? I know it has been a very long time since I have uploaded. At the time that I'm starting the recording of this video, it has been about 3 weeks since I have uploaded a video. I promise you guys, I have not just gotten lazy and forgotten about the channel or anything like that. There were a lot of things that have happened in the last 3 weeks that I have wanted to make a video on that I just did not get the time to. Some of these things include the announcement of Unreal Engine 6, some idiot shilling for the Switch 2 price increase, the price increase on the Switch 2 and the PlayStation Plus services. There's been quite a bit I have wanted to talk about that I just didn't get the time to. But regardless of all of that, we are back again today. Finally! And we're back to talk about a Dreamcastguy video yet again, okay? And the reason why I'm replying to a Dreamcastguy video here today is because he honestly just made one of the dumbest statements I have ever heard. He claims that the era of live service gaming is coming to an end, which is just the most obvious bullshit I've ever heard. I do not like live service games. Most of them are fucking garbage, okay? They're just shit. But you cannot deny the reality that live service is one of the most profitable, if done right, if done successfully, business models in the entire gaming industry. Anyway, I don't want to, blow my whole load, so to say, at the beginning of the video. I want to actually let Dreamcastguy speak and then go ahead and respond to his takes one by one. So, let's play the video. The video is titled, Sony Panics as All Their PS5 Games Failed. And obviously, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a video by Dreamcastguy.
Hey there gamers, Dreamcastguy here. Today I want to talk about PlayStation, about failure, about live service, because the basically closure of Bungie, it's honestly pissing me off. And it's the fact that in the last 5 years, Sony has talked almost exclusively about this live service initiative. They've made so many acquisitions. They said, our goal is to make 10 different giant expensive live service games back to back. And at this point, pretty much none of them have been a success. I mean, at all, right? Concord was a crazy failure. But even stuff that I feel like is just supposed to exist and be popular on PlayStation just has flopped. I do feel like the era of live service has ended, and nobody is waking up to that fact.
The era of live service has ended, and people are not waking up to that fact. Is it really a fact, though? Has the era of live service really ended? Because if you check the most popular games out there right now, you'll notice a very, very interesting trend with the types of games that are the most popular. Here is a list of the most played games on Steam right now. We have Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, PUBG, Forza Horizon 6, 5M, Bongo Cat, Rust, Apex Legends, GTA 5 Legacy, Slay the Spire 2, Geometry Dash, Dead by Daylight, the new James Bond 007 game, Marvel Rivals, and Overwatch. Out of this list, I see tons of live service games. Counter-Strike 2, PUBG, Dota 2, Apex Legends, 5M, Dead by Daylight, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Grand Theft Auto, I guess you could kinda count that one, and Rust maybe, but the only games that are not really live service out of this list are Slay the Spire, Forza, Geometry Dash, Bongo Cat, and 007. Most of the games on this list are live service. Most of the most played games on Steam right now, which is the most popular gaming platform, are live service games. But yeah, tell us more about how the era of live service is coming to an end. And I know you're saying this because Sony's live service games are not doing too well. And that's not because they're live service, it's because they just fucking suck. But here's the thing about making live service games. You can make 10 of the shittiest live service games of all time. Just absolute sewage tier games. And it won't matter if your 11th game is a huge breakout live service success that goes on for years and years and years, possibly even over a decade. Because you'll make so much money from that one live service game that it will make up for the 10 other stinkers that you put out. And I understand that this is an unfortunate reality when it comes to the current gaming industry that we live in right now, but it's simply the truth. It sucks, I know, but I mean, you have to look at it from a company's perspective. As long as you get that one good game put out that's live service, none of your failures will even matter.
Think of all the acquisitions, like Blue Point Games. They bought Blue Point, the makers of some of the best remakes of all time. What do they have them working on? A God of War live service game. I want to go through a bunch of tweets today, a bunch of thoughts, a bunch of reflections, because a lot of people are pissed that Bungie is getting shut down, that Destiny 2 is ending, that there isn't a Destiny 3.
Sorry to cut him off so abruptly there, but I do agree, I am pretty pissed off that they're ending Destiny 2, not creating a Destiny 3, and now they're working on Marathon, which, if you look at the player counts of Destiny 2 and Marathon, Destiny 2 literally has more players than Marathon right now. The least they could do for Destiny fans is bring back all of the old content, even if it makes it so it's a really big install size or something like that. It would just be a good thing to do for the fans to end off the game.
But also just mad that this business, it's no longer profitable.
How can you claim it's no longer a profitable business to do live service games when the top games prove that it is profitable? The only reason live service is not profitable for Sony is because their products suck. I mean, look at that upcoming Horizon Zero Dawn live service game. Nobody wants that. Everyone is making fun of it. If they made a live service title that people actually wanted, it would do great. Can you imagine how much money they would make if they made a Destiny 3 and made it as good as early Destiny 2 or Destiny 1? I feel like that would be very profitable for Sony.
I think that PlayStation, if they're smart, which I guess that's still, the jury's still out, I think they should try and do a hard pivot back to what they did best. Single player, focused, good narrative, cool graphics, fun. This isn't just a PlayStation problem, but I feel like it is especially a PlayStation problem.
The reason why companies would rather do a live service game over a single player, story-focused game with a good narrative is because when you put out a live service game, customers come back over and over and over again and potentially spend money on the game several times instead of just a one-time purchase for a single-player game, with maybe a DLC or two sprinkled in. A game like Helldivers people bought up front initially, and then every season they potentially come back and buy things in the shop. And over time, for these companies, all of those purchases add up, and it's a lot more profitable than just a single-player game. Now, personally, I think it sucks that this is the way that companies view the industry. They view you as recurring customers, and therefore won't make as many single-player narrative-focused games, but it's simply reality.
They have invested so much hype, attention, and billions of dollars into a money pit that went nowhere. But let's explore this. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So, I woke up this morning and I feel like everybody is talking live service right now. I feel like the closure of Bungie specifically, technically it hasn't happened yet. Apparently they're about to lay off 80% of the staff here in the next week. But every CEO, every person is always like, oh man, I can't wait for a live service Borderlands looter shooter. Oh, great. Everybody is talking about the idea that somehow, someday, somebody will make the next big Fortnite, the next big crazy game. Now, live service isn't necessarily the current motif. Live service isn't specifically a big free-to-play game with billions in microtransactions. There is a lot of different flavors of it, right? A lot of different styles of like MMORPGs. We've got World of Warcraft Classic. We've got Final Fantasy XIV, one of the biggest, most successful live service games of all time. Something that's basically kept Square Enix afloat. And I feel like that second type is what companies have been experimenting with. Even companies that I like a lot, Capcom, keeps trying to make live service Resident Evils, and they all insta-fail.
And I think those type of live service games should fail because you're taking a franchise that is a single player focused franchise and trying to mold it into something that it isn't, which is a live service style game. I think all games that try to do that bullshit should fail because it's just a slap in the face to fans of the original projects, like the original works. But there would be nothing wrong with Capcom going out and making something that's brand new that's live service alongside their Resident Evil games. If done right, it could make them a shit ton of money.
So it seems like Sony is trying to just jump in a way that nobody else is. They almost think that they can outspend. Instead of just finding nobodies and hoping they can grow an organic live service experience, they keep basically building these giant expensive studios, making live service games, and then shutting them down before we even see them. Think of all the studios they bought specifically. Firewalk, Dark Outlaw, these companies that are specifically built, hey, make us a game, make us our next live service masterpiece, and they just can't.
Well, that's because the live service games they're making, like the game that Firewalk Studios made, Concord, those games just fucking suck. I feel it's incredibly stupid to make a video where you claim that live service is dead, and live service is coming to an end, and live service isn't working, and stuff like that, when you point to games like Concord. Concord didn't fail because it was live service. Concord failed because it was a heaping pile of dog shit.
I think that internally, Sony is starting to realize that this is much more unmanageable than a lot of people thought, especially because Bungie was a giant success. I want to really just explore this for a sec, right? Because this is not just some random company. Bungie was purchased for $3.6 billion. $3.6 billion only 5 years ago, right? And when that acquisition happened, they said pretty explicitly, these are going to be our tastemakers. They have made one of the most successful live service games of all time, made it uber popular on every platform. Let's get those people to help us understand right and wrong, what we're doing correctly or incorrectly with our 10 live service initiatives. And it sounds like basically Bungie told them, no. Apparently everything that PlayStation had already dumped money onto had just turned into a giant zero. Apparently everything, including The Last of Us Online, was deemed to be way too expensive, way too unfinished, way too unprofitable to even launch, right?
Yeah, shitty live service games that are in development should be shut down. A God of War live service game that is being developed, somebody should have came in when that was first being pitched as an idea and they should have just shut it down. I actually agree with Sony shutting down some of these games. And I will admit that Sony has a problem when it comes to making shitty live service games. Sony should instead focus on making some single-player, story-driven games alongside some good live service games like Helldivers 2, and you'd get a healthy mix of the both of them.
Look at this. Bungie is giving it to having more people play Marathon, a staple moving forward, going to expand its player base over time. And I see people talking about this, right? Which is that it feels like so many people that are in charge.
Okay, I know I'm just nitpicking here, but I cannot stand when big channels like Dreamcastguy have these segments in their videos where they obviously fuck up when saying a word and they just leave it in the video. I know I'm going on an off-topic tangent, but just bear with me here. This guy has 250,000 subscribers. He has been making YouTube videos for as long as I can remember. I can remember this guy making videos back in like 2016. Bro, please put a little bit of editing into your videos. If you fuck up on the voice line, edit it out. It's really not that hard to do. And it's just kind of sad for someone with your subscriber count. I just had to throw that out there. I'm sorry, I know it was off topic and nitpicky, but it had to be said.
It feels like so many people that are in charge of live service don't understand that you can't just move people from one project to another. It's not like, oh, you like that shooter? Well, here's another shooter that's 90% similar. A lot of the reason people play live service games is their back catalog. I've got this many unlockables. I've got this many seasons of memories built up. I've got this many friends that play the game. That's what actually makes you want to log in and do those things and get your daily bonus. It's not just, hey, here's another equivalently cool game. It is about that nostalgia for a game that you can currently play. I do not see a world where I start playing Marathon the way I played Destiny. Destiny was Marathon perfected, and a ton of callbacks to Halo, to Marathon. I know there are Marathon fanatics out there, but there's just no world where I see Marathon blowing up.
I agree with this tweet 100%, by the way. I truly do not know what the fuck Sony was thinking, or I should say what Bungie was thinking with Marathon. Marathon has basically no soul. The art style is very soulless. They had all of like the copyright drama going on with the game. The game is yet another extraction shooter when that is already an oversaturated market with tons of competition. And it's not what people want. Like, people want Destiny 3. I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and make Destiny 3, because tons of people would have played that game, especially if it was as good as Destiny 1 and early Destiny 2. So spot on, this guy's a G for putting out that tweet, and I agree with him 100%.
I see so much like this. What bothers me most is that devs know their stuff. They know what players want. What idiot executive decided to greenlight Star Wars DLC over another giant raid? Former Destiny 2 people are saying, yes, there were tons of stories that were still supposed to be finished. They were all pitched, and unfortunately it got shut down. There are multiple leaks that apparently nobody knew that Bungie was ending Destiny 2. Like, nobody in the company, everybody literally on Friday was still working on it, and then suddenly they walked in and went, you guys can take the day off, which is crazy. So now everybody is very much doomer posting. Like, it's wild that even if you don't like Destiny 2, even if you burned out of Destiny 2 years ago like I did, it's undeniable that it was a game that was beautiful, that had a giant active community, and now it's just gone. It's not only gone, it's the fact that they didn't even sunset it in the typical fashion. Usually with a game, when they're hyping up the next big project, they sort of scroll it down. All right, now you went from 5 updates a year to 4 to 3 to, but get ready because something bigger and better is in the future. Instead, this time they just walked out and said, no more updates, no sequel, no anything, maybe try Marathon.
This is another point that I have to 100% agree with Dreamcastguy on. The way they sunsetted Destiny 2 is just fucking disrespectful to the fans. It is such a slap in the face to all of the people that spent years and years playing Destiny 2, following all the updates, engaging with all the content. They deserved a more fitting finale. They didn't deserve to just one day be told, yeah, we're ending the game, fuck you, goodbye. Basically, that's basically what they were told. Destiny 2 fans deserved an ending like this. Hey Destiny 2 players, we unfortunately are announcing that we're shutting down Destiny 2's support, we're ending the game, we're going to put out one final big update, adding a bunch of stuff and a finale, and we're also going to make it so you can re-download all of the old content that you may have missed, like the Red War. I think a lot more people would be a lot happier with Bungie if that were the finale they were given, instead of basically a fuck you. And I don't know what Bungie's end goal is here. Do they seriously think that because they're shutting down Destiny 2, Destiny 2 players are about to flock over to Marathon? I highly fucking doubt that is happening, let's be honest. People are likely not going to transition over. I should note, when I say they're shutting down, they're not actually, like, taking off the servers or anything, they're just not supporting the game anymore.
At best, content was a machine to create memories and friendships. No new content stings. The pain is about losing a place where so many memories were made. It stings not because of what it was, but the realization of what it won't be. You know, when they shut stuff down, I feel like a lot of people sort of apples to oranges it. A lot of people think, oh, Destiny 2, that was good for its time, but now let's get those developers, that talent team, and just put them into a different pot. Let's use their magic, their expertise to make a different big giant live service shooter. Let's make, a SOCOM shooter, or make, a live service something, right? But I think that this failure, this objective failure to the business of Bungie, to me, I think it signifies that this is unsalvageable. I think this is a sign that live service is dead.
I genuinely have no other word to describe this statement besides retarded. There's no way you can just point to one mismanaged team like Bungie and say, look, live service is dead because they completely fucked it up. I want to give you guys a stupid DSP sandwich shop analogy to just hammer home how stupid his statement here is that live service is dead because of Sony. Let's say you have a very successful sandwich shop across the world, Subway for example, but the Subway in your local town is just complete dog shit. They're hiring idiots who are unclean, they don't know how to make the sandwiches, they're just morons, right? Morons, as DSP would say. Would it be fair to then come out and say Subway is dead because one specific Subway doesn't know how the fuck to operate? No. Just like how it's unfair to say that live service is dead because Sony doesn't know how to make a good live service. I feel like that was actually a really good sandwich shop analogy. Leave a like for that analogy.
Now, we're going to go into it in a second. Some people are thinking, oh, well, there's so many big live service games. If live service is dead, certainly the games that are making the most money on the planet, which are all live service, they would disagree. But I almost think that further bolsters my point.
Yeah, absolutely fucking not.
If Destiny 2 can't survive with 170,000 daily active users coming from PlayStation, they're going to have a bad time. If that's not enough, here's my thing, right? Is that a lot of people are talking about the bad business of it. Wow, I can't believe how badly they spent too much money on Marathon. Wow, I shouldn't have screwed this up and tried to divide their time. The problem is not that Marathon exists, it's how badly mishandled to the point that now the entire studio is relying on it, a position that never should have been. Now, this was leaked about 10 days ago, when I did a video about it at the time, that they essentially rolled out this tiny update to some people, a beta update that allowed you to see the biggest games in the world on PlayStation. And what it really revealed is that a lot of people are just playing the same games they've been playing for pretty much the last 10, 12 years. Literally, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto 5, Minecraft, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Marvel Rivals. Now, this isn't specifically live service games. This isn't like top 10 live service games. It's most active player bases on PlayStation, which is the most active place to play. Like, more people play worldwide on PC, but I mean, just in general, right now, if you're a console gamer looking to spend money on console games, this is it. The PlayStation 5 is 95 million PlayStation 5 sold, and I feel like these numbers to me, they signify this is no longer worth being a pool to invest in.
I disagree. Just because you make a live service game doesn't mean you have to compete with and pull the numbers of big games like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Fortnite. It is fine to make a smaller live service game like Arc Raiders and like Helldivers 2, where you still get a loyal audience for those live service games, but you're not a big titan like Fortnite.
Right? It's weird to think about how much Fortnite has shrunk, and it's still this freaking massive. So many companies are seeing these numbers and thinking, okay, we can buy that. Let's say they spend, $500 million a year on development. Okay, let's spend our own $500 million a year on development, and we'll get 14.6 million players. When that's just not how it works. I think that if you are going to do anything in the live service space, at this point, it needs to be tiny and it needs to be organic, or just don't do it. Stuff like Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders was not made to be the biggest game of all time. It was a tiny extraction shooter with really basic voice lines, really tiny lobbies, and it grew and grew and grew. People loved the loop. People built communities. People enjoyed the voice chat and the silliness and the streaming moments, and it naturally, organically grew on its own without millions of dollars of budgets and taking up time at state of plays with the latest, greatest update.
But doesn't that just prove my point even more that live service can still be profitable if done right? And I think it proves another point that live service can be good if done correctly. There's this stigma in the gaming industry right now, and I think the stigma exists for good reason. There are a lot of shitty live service games out there, but there's this stigma that live service is always bad. I see people constantly say live service is all shit, live services are all bad, when that's obviously just not the case.
I think that PlayStation, more than anybody else, is learning the lesson that you cannot enter this space. I think at this point, live service is just dead.
Again, making that statement when you have pulled up the most played games on PlayStation in this video, and you have proved that live service is not dead by pointing out games like Arc Raiders and stuff, I think it's just retarded to say that.
I think that live service is in a spot where it's no longer just fighting for attention. It's no longer just fighting for market share. It's no longer just fighting for clips. I think that live service itself as a concept is dead because we already have it. The 10 live service games that are already out, that are out there, that already exist, I just feel like that's all that's going to exist.
So because 10 live service games are out right now and they're all very popular, a 11th can't exist? I'm failing to see any sort of sense here.
It feels like everybody's trying to make the next Mario, right? If suddenly every single company in the world was trying to make their own version of Mario, I still feel like Mario would be at the top of the ladder and you'd have 800 games that just don't sell. And that's how a lot of live service feels to me, is that I feel like they should try and just not copy this concept, hoping it copies the money. Even stuff that was a success, like Helldivers 2, recently, people are super mad about Helldivers 2 keeps rolling out updates, and the game keeps getting worse and worse and worse. They keep buffing the enemies perpetually, making the game less fun, more unplayable. People are like, okay, so are you going to fix the gameplay? It's almost like they've been saving one of the most requested crossovers to try and improve PR after another mass exodus of players no longer willing to deal with them. And this is my thing, right, is that you cannot look at the PlayStation Studios logo or the Xbox Studios logo and think, wow, I wish there was more live service slop in there. Wow, I wish there was more stuff that perpetually updated. I wish there was more stuff that just constantly ground me into dust on the treadmill.
I don't see the problem in a game coming out on PlayStation or Xbox that is good, that gets perpetual good updates. In fact, I think if a game came out, it was good, and it was live service, that would make it better if it was done well, if it was good live service. Because what's better than a game coming out that's good, that gets constant good updates?
I think PlayStation has learned the hardest lesson of all. Live service is dead. If you want to make a game that happens to be live service, if you want to make a game that does have updates, that does evolve and change, you better start small. You better start organic, and it better be a passion project. Because at this point, you truly can't spend, Spider-Man 2 money, $330 million, and hope you end up with the next Fortnite. That just ain't how this works. And I hope the investors wake up, because at this point, I'll be honest, I'm annoyed that we don't have another Uncharted or Last of Us 3 or another God of War. It's weird the amount of games that I feel like just don't exist because Sony took a half-decade to learn what feels like the most obvious lesson ever.
I think the reason you're not seeing as many big single-player God of War games and stuff like that nowadays as you used to is because of how much it costs to develop those type of games nowadays, and the time it takes to make one of these games nowadays. You look at back in the day, you used to get a new Fallout game every couple of years, and nowadays it's been like how long since the last Fallout? God of War takes forever to come out nowadays. Everything takes forever to come out nowadays because of the cost and the time it takes to develop these games. But yeah, man, I don't really have anything else to say. It has been like 30 minutes already. I'm running out of time. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I apologize for how long this video took to come out. I've been really busy. My workplace, like 3 guys quit, and yeah, it's been pretty hectic. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy today's video, a like would be greatly appreciated, and so would a sub. If you did not like today's video, a dislike would be appreciated, and so would a mean comment, I guess. Alright guys, that's it from me. Peace.